You sit down to work, you open your laptop, and within minutes, your brain is everywhere except where it should be. Instagram, group chats, that one random tab you definitely didn't need, and now it's 2 hours later and nothing important got done. Sound familiar? Here's a wild thought. Maybe your inability to focus isn't your fault. Maybe it was trained into you on purpose. And the number one suspect? School. Let's break down how school taught you to be distracted and how to fix it. First, school trained your brain to wait for instructions. From the very beginning, school taught you this. Sit down. Be quiet. Wait for someone to tell you what to do. Do that exact thing. Raise your hand for everything else. That's not focus, that's obedience. You weren't trained to initiate. You weren't taught how to structure your own thinking. You were conditioned to wait. And now, as an adult, your brain still craves structure, but it can't generate it. So what happens? Distraction takes over. Because if your brain doesn't know what matters, it latches onto whatever's shiny. Email, notifications, TikTok, the news, anything. Focus doesn't come from discipline. It comes from clarity, and school never taught you how to build that for yourself. Second, you learn to chase gold stars, not real progress. Remember getting stickers, grades, praise? School wired you to focus on approval, not depth. You did what would get points, not what made sense. Finish the worksheet, memorize the formula, regurgitate the textbook, but ask questions, go off track, challenge the system. Not so fast. And now you carry that same mindset into adult life. You work to feel busy. You finish tasks that look good. You crave feedback and completion, not understanding. You've been trained to ask, how do I get this done right? Instead of, what actually matters here? That's not focus. That's performance. Third, school taught you to focus in the worst environment. Let's be honest. School is the opposite of deep work. You sit in a loud fluorescent room. You're interrupted every 45 minutes by a bell. You switch topics constantly. You're punished for daydreaming. And you're surrounded by 20 plus other humans doing the same. If you actually focused in that environment, that's a superpower. But most of us didn't. Instead, we learned how to fake attention, how to look busy, how to tune out without getting caught. Now we carry that forward. You sit at your laptop and your brain mimics school, check emails, switch tabs, multitask, stay reactive, and you wonder why you can't focus. You weren't taught how to create a focused environment. You were taught how to survive a distracting one. Fourth, school taught you to associate effort with pain. Let's be real. Most of what we learned in school felt pointless. And when something feels pointless, your brain resists it, even if it's important. So now every time you sit down to do deep work, your brain associates it with stress, pressure, anxiety, not flow, not clarity, not curiosity. Your brain thinks, oh, this again. Sitting still and staring at something boring. Let's check Instagram instead. You didn't build focus. You built avoidance. So, what do you do instead? How do you untrain this distracted mind? Let's break it down. 1. Rebuild your relationship with boredom. In school, boredom was the norm, and you learned to fight it with distraction. But boredom is actually the gateway to focus. That moment when nothing is pulling your attention, that's where your brain starts choosing a direction. So instead of escaping boredom, sit in it. Give your brain 5 minutes. No phone, no music, no tabs. Let it get itchy. Let it wander. And then let it settle. That's when real focus begins. 2. Learn to define your own tasks. Stop waiting for someone to tell you what matters. Before you open a document or start a project, ask, what would make this 100% worth my time today? What's the one thing that would actually move this forward? Then do that. Not the busy work, not the formatting, not the checklist, the real work, because your brain can't focus without a target. And most adults are still walking around with school brain, waiting for the assignment. 3. Focus in silence. Then structure the noise. Your brain isn't broken. It's just overstimulated. You've got notifications, messages, tabs, alerts, all the time. It's like trying to think in the middle of a concert. Instead, give yourself one space every day, 30 minutes, where nothing competes, no phone, no music, no multitasking. Then after that, you can go back to the noise, but now it's on your terms. You trained your focus, and now you control when it turns on. 4. Redefine what productivity looks like. Forget hours worked. Forget how many tasks you completed. Measure progress by clarity and momentum. Did you make the next decision? Did you solve the real problem? Did you finish the one thing that matters? School rewarded volume. Life rewards value. So stop trying to be a straight A student. Start trying to build leverage. 5. Reflect like a real learner. At the end of each day, ask, what pulled my attention today? What helped me focus? What felt like real progress? This isn't school. There's no teacher watching, no test to prep for, but your brain still needs feedback. So give it and let it get better. Every day. Final thoughts. School was built to create workers, obedient ones who follow the rules, ones who don't question the structure. But you're not in that world anymore. You don't need gold stars. You don't need to ask permission. You don't need to pretend to be busy. You need clarity. You need space. You need trust in your own brain again. Because focus isn't about forcing yourself. It's about freeing yourself from the habits that never served you. You were trained to stay distracted. Now it's time to unlearn that. If you're done playing school and ready to actually build a mind that works for you, subscribe. We don't do noise here. We do smart. We do real. We do results.